President Trump is restructuring the Department of Homeland Security.
And the Senate fails to pass a bill to help Puerto Rico recover. More on that coming up.
An exhilarating musical is coming to San Diego City College, and we have the details.
A winter storm is heading our way. Find out what that means for San Diego. Newscene starts right now.
My name is Jeffrey Villegas.
And I am Sarah Machuca. Welcome to this week Newscene.
The Department of Homeland Security has seen some serious changes this week. To tell us who's left and who stayed behind is Io Elise with our lead report.
Security. In fact, Trump and the administration is forcing out leaders from within Homeland Security to further the administration's aggressive policing of the U.S.-Mexico border. Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen, Secret Service Director Randolph Tex Ailes, and ICE Acting Director Ron Vitello are no longer serving in the department. Vitello was nominated in August and was well on his way to confirmation by the Senate when the withdrawal of his nomination for the permanent position of director was withdrawn on Thursday with signs, and that was a sign of changes on the way. Now, upon hearing about the withdrawal, sources say that Nielsen was concerned about her own position within the administration. Though the secretary publicly supported and enforced many of Trump's controversial immigration policies, their relationship was not a good one. Despite this, Nielsen has no hard feelings about leaving her post.
The President's goal of securing the border. I will continue to support all efforts to address the humanitarian and security crisis on the border.
While Nielsen's exit could have been expected, the firing of Ailes as Secret Service Director was a surprise. In an email addressed to his team weeks ago, Ailes addressed rumors saying that he would not be fired, but there would be changes in leadership at the DHS. At a recent White House event, Trump even gave praise to the Secret Service, saying that they have done a fantastic job. That was not the case for long, though, because shortly after that statement, Ailes was fired by Trump's acting chief of staff. CBS reports that the purging of DHS was caused by Stephen Miller, who is Trump's senior aide and speechwriter. Until last month, Miller and senior advisor and son-in-law to the president, Jared Kushner, were lobbying Trump to implement a new immigration policy. So Kushner wants Trump to work with Congress, while Miller wants to restore the controversial family separation policy and close ports of entry. The president eventually gave control to Miller. So Trump has denied that there is a mass overhaul of DHS. Instead, he is saying he is providing security that the country needs.
And we're not doing anything very big as far as what we need. Homeland Security, that's exactly what we want. There's no better term, there's no better name. We want Homeland Security, and that's what we're going to get.
Other DHS officials are expected to leave as well. Undersecretary Claire Grady delivered her resignation Wednesday. Vitello is stepping down today, while Ailes won't be stepping down until May. Now, Nielsen's last day was Wednesday, and her replacement, Border Patrol Commissioner Kevin McAleenan, is starting right away. The commissioner has served in Border Patrol for 13 years and was sworn into his current position just over a year ago. McAleenan also supports many of Trump's immigration policies, including building the border wall. Well, that's all for that story now. Back to you at the desk.
Yeah, that's a lot of changes going down in the Department of Homeland Security. Thanks for that, Io. The founder of WikiLeaks has been arrested after 7 years in isolation. The political asylum granted to Julian Assange by Ecuador was revoked due to his hostile and threatening behavior towards embassy staff and the Ecuadorian government. Assange has been living in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. British police charged him with breaking conditions of bail in 2012. He will remain in British custody until his extradition hearing on May 2nd for hacking U.S. government computers and conspiring to steal military secrets in 2010.
Trump's acting chief of state made it very clear in an interview this week that Democrats will never see the president's taxes. Mike Mulvaney gave a one-word response when asked about timeline for the release of the documents. Never. Trump is the first president in 4 decades who has not publicly released his tax returns. Trump claimed that there is no law that gives Congress the authority to obtain his tax returns, but they suggested that he may be willing to provide some information once his ongoing audit has ended. Federal law gives certain congressional committees that power to ask the IRS for access to individual tax returns. But if the Treasury Secretary refuses, the committees can force the release through the courts.
Governor Gavin Newsom is announcing immigration relief efforts following a 72-hour trip to El Salvador this week. The visit allowed the governor to examine the economic and humanitarian issues causing migration. The trip comes on the heels of President Trump cutting $500 million in aid to Central America's northern triangle region of Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Trump claims the aid, which doubled under the Obama administration, does nothing to stop immigration. Newsom disagrees with the Trump, saying cutting off aid will fuel more migration.
The U.S. Senate can't agree on federal aid for communities impacted by the natural disaster. Jesus Lopez has more on this story.
The U.S. Senate is unable to create a hurricane relief package for the island of Puerto Rico. Democrats asked to fully fund recovery, saying the island is in a financial and economic crisis. But Republicans, as well as Trump, criticized aid intended for Puerto Rico, disputing the need for additional federal dollars 2 years after Hurricane Maria hit the island. The president is writing in recent tweets that Puerto Rico has received more than $90 billion of aid, but documents released by the White House said the number includes a significant amount of future aid, and media reports say the amount of actual aid that has reached the island is closer to only $11 billion. Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer responded in support of the island and additional funding needed in the Midwest, proposing a new bill.
We believe we all ought to pull together and help American citizens wherever they are. We have offered a bill now, Senator Leahy and I, that funds both the Midwestern areas that have been flooded and Puerto Rico.
However, Hurricane Maria survivor and meteorologist Caruska Horta Matos said that Puerto Rican people need much more support than they are being given.
Well, Hurricane Maria had a loss of over $43 billion impact on the island. So we definitely need an amount near that to help the recovery and make things better.
We will see in the following weeks if the bill introduced by the minority leader will pass and federal funds are directed to the affected areas. I'm Jesus Lopez reporting for Newscene.
We'll definitely keep you updated on that. Thank you, Jesus. The U.S. State Department has announced a travel advisory for 35 countries, emphasizing the risk of kidnapping. And this decision actually comes after an American tourist had her guide had to be rescued from kidnappers by Ugandan security forces. The travel advisory is available on the department's website and includes Mexico, the Philippines, and Afghanistan.
New York City has declared a public health emergency due to a measles outbreak in an Orthodox Jewish community. Unvaccinated people living in and around Williamsburg will be required to receive the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, known as MMR. Mayors say the city will issue violations and possibly fine of up to $1,000 to those who did not comply. Officials started educating the public to encourage parents to vaccinate their children by working with rabbis and handing out flyers. The public health emergency comes after 285 cases of measles have been reported in Brooklyn and Queens since October.
Now that's pretty steep, $1,000 for, just encouragement yourself. So, but now in sports, Los Angeles Lakers are actually losing their magic after 2 lackluster seasons. More on that after the break. It's all good.
Great guy. I mean, look at him. What a... Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
University of California is being charged with illegal intimidation and interference. UC workers file an unfair labor practice at the Public Employment Relations Board addressing UC's unlawful interference, which includes workplace retaliation to condoning physical violence against striking workers on the picket line.
Merely about UC's, we filed unfair labor practice charges against the university. In layman's terms, that's the university practices intimidation against our workers, rewarding workers that come to work with gift baskets, pool parties, pizza parties.
While the unfair labor practice charges focus on recent events, it also notes that the patterns of illegal conduct dates as far back as February of 2018, when university police assaulted and singled out an African-American employee. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Cuban-born baseball players will have to give up their citizenship and they dream about playing in the professional baseball rank in the U.S. The agreement created during the Obama administration let players keep their Cuban citizenship while playing for a MLB team. Now the Trump administration has canceled the deal. The administration says the Cuban Baseball Federation is part of the Cuban government and trade with communities country is banned. The purpose of the agreement was to prevent human trafficking of baseball players from the island.
Now moving to sports, the drama of the Lakers' disappointing season continued this week. Here's Isaac with more.
The magic has ended for the Los Angeles Lakers. Magic Johnson, the basketball legend and president of the basketball operation for the storied franchise, is calling it quits. Johnson announced his departure to the media this week. Even before telling Lakers owners Jenny Buzz, Johnson had been in this position for 2 full seasons. Also, the team brought LeBron James and to LA under Johnson's tenure. The Lakers continue to underperform on the courts. And in breaking news, the LA Lakers and Luke Walton part ways. We will keep you posted as more information is released on coming episodes. The Master Golf Tournament started yesterday, and a past champion is in old form after the first round. With the first round of 2 and under 17, Tiger Woods is playing like he's hungry for another green jacket. The score matches his first round finishes in each of his first 3 matches victories, but that does not mean spectators are giving up on their favorite to win, like Rory McIlroy. McIlroy is a regular in the top 10 each week and only needs a master win for a career Grand Slam. And let's not forget Phil Mickelson to the top 3 of the leaderboard, a San Diegan, creating one of the best opening rounds in Augusta National since 2010. And that is all we have for sports at the moment. Back to the desk.
Yeah, I really hope that they do get that radio back on track. So,
yeah, the biggest desert party is about to celebrate a big day. More of that coming up.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout,
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh!
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
vinyl records have been making a huge comeback for quite some time now, thanks to independent record stores across the country. Newscene's Brian Moeller has more.
Releases from Al Green to Zappa. Record Store Day began as a way to promote independently owned record shops like Feel It Records near City College.
400 titles that come out that day specifically for independent record stores like ours.
Pearl Jam is this year's official ambassadors. Singer Eddie Vedder has San Diego roots, but record-loving lead guitarist Mike McCready is the one excited.
Thanks for the opportunity. Looking forward to seeing you at all the independent record stores.
Vinyl Junkies in South Park, which grew out of the Casbah's record exchanges, is participating.
Original Cure drummer will be here doing an hour-long set.
Math professor Rob Rubalcaba works as a DJ and hosts math jams on the City College campus. He says one of his favorite record stores is Folk Arts Rare Records.
People are going to be DJing all day. We're just planning on having a lot of fun.
McCready says for him, Record Store Day is every day. Local hip-hop artist and former City College student Dre Trav agrees.
So whether it's Record Store Day, open every day.
Collector Dan Lukzak is always digging through wax, but isn't excited for the crowds.
Yeah, I always look for originals. Some of them are real hard to find, so like the Beatles.
And speaking of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Blind Owl Records in North Park is releasing a Beatles-inspired beat poetry book for the day. Yes, a book for Record Store Day, and all kinds of feel-good events across town.
I always feel a little bit better when I come out of a record store.
I'm Brian Moeller reporting for Newscene.
Thanks, Brian. I definitely would look into those records next time. Now, did you know that our college is actually about to debut a new musical? Edgar has more on this story.
Teenagers take justice too far. Audiences find out tonight with the opening of Heathers, the musical, at the Seville Theater on the campus of San Diego City College. Heathers is an action-packed show full of misbehaving teens, high school queen bees, and exploding tempers. In fact, here's how Claire Christie, who plays Heather, the leader of Westerberg's Mean Girls, introduces her character.
Well, I'm playing Heather Chandler, and she is the demon queen of high school. And she just owns the whole scene, and she knows her place, and she will punch you in the face.
This play is not for everyone. Director Katie Rada warns that the show contains adult themes and mature language.
There's a lot of crazy things that happen in this play. There's drug usage, there's alcohol, there's sex, there's murder, there's all sorts of stuff.
There's also stage combat, choreographed by assistant director Brody Gogads, who describes the challenges of choreographing fights to a musical timing.
Because you had to have, the music has certain beats that you got to hit, like a certain punch or kick or whatever, and it's got to end at a certain time. So I really tried to come up with something that looked exciting, action-packed, funny.
Heathers is playing in the Seville Theater for April 20th, so make sure to check it out. Reporting for Newscene, this is Edgar Itkevich.
That looks exciting, actually. I can't really wait to see that. Thanks for that, Edgar.
The music event of the year is going down this weekend. Here is Joel Garcia with what's going on in entertainment.
Thank you very much. Indeed, today is the start of 2 lit weekends over in the desert, Coachella. This year marks the 20th anniversary of the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival. Headliners will include Ariana Grande and Childish Gambino. While tickets are sold out for this weekend, they are still available for next weekend, starting at the low price of $429. If you're unable to attend the event or can't afford the high price of tickets, performances from both weekends will be streamed on YouTube. Kim Kardashian West is following in the footsteps of her late father and studying to become a lawyer in the state of California. The reality star isn't in law school, however. In fact, she doesn't even have a degree at all. Kardashian intends to become what is called a law reader. California law allows for people to prepare for the state bar by apprenticing with a lawyer. Kardashian's father served on the O.J. Simpson defense team before his death in 2003. Oprah Winfrey is teaming up with Prince Harry to make a new show for Apple. Prince Harry announced on Instagram that he and Winfrey were collaborating on a series tackling mental health. In the announcement, the prince referred to his past work throughout the UK, focusing on the topics of mental health and illness. For Oprah, it is yet another production she is working on for Apple's new streaming service, Apple Plus. The mental health series will premiere in 2020. Disney revealed the latest trailer of their highly anticipated remake of The Lion King. The live-action film features an all-star cast and brings back many of the film's favorite characters. Featured in the trailer are Simba, the villainous Scar, a bird which appears to be Zazu, and the comedic duo of Timon and Pumbaa. The trailer also has at least one musical number will recreate from the original 1994 animated classic. The CGI remake will open theaters this summer. And brace yourself, winter is finally coming. The final season of Game of Thrones premiere on HBO this Sunday. The season will feature the final battle scene that shows many characters, deciding once and for all who will sit on the Iron Throne. Will it be Jon Snow, who knows nothing? Will Daenerys use her mighty dragons to conquer Westeros? Will the White Walkers turn Westeros into a wasteland? Who will die? All these questions and more will be answered this season. Personally, my money's on the Stark's time-traveling relative, Tony. That's all for entertainment. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Joel. Sorry. Let's go. I don't know. Do you think it's going to be rain this weekend?
I don't know. I hope not. I mean, I think we've been having a lot of rain lately, so.
Let's see. Yeah, let's find out what Quinata has for us after the break.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Next.
A global network of radio telescopes has captured the first photograph of a black hole. More than 200 scientists worked on the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration, including MIT grad Katie Bowman. The hazy halo of orange made up the space dust and gas that you see now is the final product. The EHT needed 2 years to create the image of the massive galaxy, which sits more than 50 million light years away from Earth. Black holes are mysterious and have fascinated our imaginations for decades, and now we have the first picture of many to come.
Wow, that's very surprising that we have the black hole picture. Let's see what's going on in weather. Let's go to Quinata.
Hey folks, looks like we're not really going to have that winter storm problem after all. It's going to be a very nice weekend, so we're really blessed to have that going on for us in San Diego. Right now, the temperatures along the coast, we're looking at 60s, moving up today as it warms up, so we're probably going to see maybe 69, 70 degrees on the coast. A little bit warmer inland, we're going to get up to probably about 70, maybe low 70s. Mountains are going to stay cool, maybe in the 50s today. Borrego Springs is going to warm up to the mid-70s, so we're having some good Friday weather. And, you know, there might be a little bit of isolated showers at some of these higher elevations, but it's going to be nice over here. Let's look at this 8-day that we're going to talk about. Okay, 8-day. We're showing that we're going to bring in some clouds on Sunday. And Sunday through Tuesday, another system is going to affect our weather, so we're going to cool down a little bit. But by the end of next week, it's going to warm up a lot significantly. We should see mid-80s in the inland valleys, and maybe we'll hit 80 degrees on Friday. You know, we're really lucky to have this kind of weather out here in San Diego. The rest of the country is really feeling some of those April showers. In fact, it's really bad. I'd say the worst part is probably up here in the upper part of the Midwest. We have places like Minnesota, North and South Dakota, Nebraska. Right now they're covered in snow. You can see this massive clouds. This is an occluded front, and it's sitting over there. They named it winter weather storm Wesley. It really pounded the area. Now they're recovering. The area of snow and stuff is moving a little bit to the east, but it's moving slowly. Now, while that's going on up there, we have this whole area along the east coast. This is actually bringing in a lot of thunderstorms and terrible weather out there for some of those folks. And you know what? I would go into it more, but that's about all the time we have for weather right now. Let me pass it back to you folks on the desk.
An Instagram clip of a woman dodging her own axe throw is getting tens of millions of views. The hair-raising event took place at an axe-throwing bar in Denver. The woman, identified as an Aisling Ray, is seen throwing the axe towards the target. But instead of the target, the axe hits the floor, then the wall, and then flies back towards Ray's head. Ray's reflexes as she dodged the rebound are the most impressive part of the clip. Ray says that she is excited to toss more axes in the future.
Well, and that's all we had today, folks, with Newscene. I'm Jeffrey Villegas.
I am Sarah Machuca.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you for watching Newscene.